Appreciate everybody being here. Good practice today. Appreciate the guys' effort. What questions you have?
John, addressing the team, especially after a couple losses, what was kind of your message to them at the meeting?
Yeah, well, we met yesterday, met again today. We're focusing on the task at hand. There's long-term understanding of what we need to accomplish, and there's a short-term focus, which is right now, this week. That is always the focus. It needs to be the focus in this league. It's a one-week league, and we've got to do everything we can to play our best football that we're capable of right now.
Coach, it's sort of third week in a row you're playing against a receiver, take the top off the defenses. What kind of challenges CeeDee Lamb posed for you guys? What kind of adjustments you got to make?
Yeah, he's one of the very best in the National Football League. I think he's obviously well respected. He's a threat. They move him around. They motion him. They shift him. They put him inside, put him outside, run him on pretty much every different route they have. I think he's the first in the progression most of the time. So we're going to have to make sure we take care of him and try to reroute him when we get a chance, try to move the coverage to him or away from him when we get a chance based on what the scheme is, and try to do the best we can to keep him under control.
Hey, Coach, what are your thoughts on the first-time nomination of Marshal, Yanda, and Terrell, Suggs, Hall of Fame?
Marshal, Yanda, and Terrell, Suggs as Hall of Fame nominees. It's the first I've heard of it. That's the first I heard of it. That's awesome. I think that's amazing. I'm really happy to hear it. This is their year, and I would say that my thoughts are both of those guys should be first ballot Hall of Famers. There's no question in my mind that they both deserve that honor, and I'll be rooting for them.
John, on the offense, you talked about the other day trying to be, disguise things for your opponents week to week and so forth. Is there any concern or anything in terms of offensive identity? I know that's kind of a hard thing to quantify.
I think it's a very good question, because when you touch on all those questions, kind of point the fact out that all those things are important, and you try to chase all those different things. I think in terms of an identity, it's a great question, a great point. And you need to establish an identity, for each phase and for your football team, and that's established over the course of a given season. Maybe you have established an identity as over time, as a type of football you like to play, your organization, what you believe in your program. That's one identity. But other identities are the ones that are made with the new team that you're with this year, because every team is a new team. So that's something that every team has got to fight to do. And I doubt any team would tell you that they've established their identity yet after 2 weeks, but that's something we need to do. So, yeah, you want to have an identity. You want to be known for something. What are you good at? What do they need to stop? What are they saying that they have to defend against you for your offense? At the same time, you don't want them to line up and know what you're doing every single play. So both of those values are important. I don't think they contradict each other. I think those are things you have to find.
John, you look at the offense, and you guys are top 10 in yards, at least rushing and passing, but when it comes to scoring on the back end, why do you think the yardage isn't translating to points?
Well, that's something that we've been looking really hard at. That's the thing we've been talking to our team about, both in team meetings and in the offensive meetings. And we lead the league in yards, but the points have to come with it, and that's what we're going to chase. We were in that situation last year at one point in time, too, if you remember early in the season. So that's something that we have got to translate the yards into points. And to me, it comes back to consistency. You can gain yards, but then you aren't consistent enough to finish the drive. So finishing drives, finishing plays, finishing series, really both sides of the ball and on special teams has got to be, and always is, an emphasis.
Now, we saw Ronnie come up a little slowly a couple times in the game and wasn't out here today. Is anything up with him, or was it more of a rest day?
Yeah, we're working through that with Ronnie. He will be out there Sunday. I can tell you that. I don't mind telling you that right now. But the injury report will be out in just a little bit. And we had different guys not out there today, because I know those questions are coming. We had a few guys with personal issues, family issues, babies and surgeries and stuff like that with their family, a couple guys with that. A couple guys that have some things from the game that, we didn't want to practice them today with. So that's where we're at. And you'll see the injury report. It's not anything major.
All right. So what do you think is keeping you guys back from having those explosive plays that you were so good at in the passing game, especially last year?
On offense? It's going to come down to execution. You've got to execute across the board. You may have a guy open, and maybe the protection doesn't work as well for you as you need to. So maybe the protection works great and things don't work out with the routes. That consistency across the board, kind of clicking on all cylinders, is something that's really kind of important on offense. I mean, you can make broken plays for sure, and our guys have done that, and you've seen our team do that before. But chasing that consistent execution is the thing that leads to those big plays.
Terrell, on defense, just kind of in the secondary, when you watch the tape, kind of what hasn't been wrong.
Yeah, I mean, we've had. You look at the specific plays. We've had a couple times we didn't play the defense right. As you know, we've had 2 of those. One was a 10-yard gain, and the other one was a touchdown 2 weeks ago. And the other stuff is, finishing plays, being in good position relative to the receiver, getting guys in the ground, things like that. So we'll keep working on that stuff. Those are all correctable things. That's the thing. We're going to chase consistency, but you watch the tape, it's all stuff that we can do better, and our guys are determined to do better. And that's what I keep saying in terms of how you think about things. Every day is the beginning. No day is the end until, in the case of life, God says it's the end. In the case of the National Football League, football says it's the end, And there'll be a day that we'll all come to our end in our career, and there'll be a day that we'll all come to our end in our life. But until then, you better be growing, and our team has a growth mindset. And I appreciate that about our guys. So we'll continue to improve, continue to get better, continue to chase the details. We can become a better football team. I think we have a really good history of doing that. And so that's what we worked for today out here.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks.